Welcome to Archangel Michael Says Daily, a channel dedicated to sharing divine wisdom, spiritual protection, and angelic guidance inspired by Archangel Michael. Today we will be talking about topic a sacred interruption. Just for you, begin. Here, take a deep breath. Be still, listen. Don't scroll past. Please. Do not just swipe away. This moment is not an accident. The fact that you have paused here, amidst the endless scroll of a million streams of information, amidst the noise of a world that never sleeps, is not random. This is a sacred interruption. Consider it a whisper from the heavens, a voice that has cut through all the static to find you. And only you. You were led here for a reason. Right now, in a quiet moment of your mind, an image just flashed by. A face, a memory, a name. It is a loved one who has passed from this world. They are the one who pleaded with Archangel Michael for this very moment. They asked for this intervention. So, no, you did not click here by mistake. You were called. Your name was spoken in a realm unseen by the naked eye, yet your soul, on some deep level, just trembled with a flicker of recognition. A matter of urgency. Listen closely. For these are the words of Archangel Michael, and he declares, "This is an emergency, and I do not exaggerate. This urgency is not a figure of speech. It is a divine truth. For the last 2 hours, while you were busy with your life, while your mind was swept away by worries, plans, and sorrows, Michael has been persistently trying to reach you. He has been flying between the dimensions of your dreams and your reality for one singular purpose. This message, a message that is not for everyone. It is only for you. And here is the warning. A stern reminder from the celestial realm. If you ignore it now, if you choose to turn away, you may never hear what they came to say. Your departed loved one is still watching right now. They are still waiting. They are still trying. They have expended so much divine energy to establish this fragile bridge of connection. Michael is here, and his command is clear and direct. Open it immediately. If not, their words will fade into the winds of time forever. The shift within you feel that. Something just shifted in your chest. A subtle, yet unmistakable change. Your heart knows this is different. This is not fear creeping in. No, this is recognition. Your soul, the eternal part of you, is remembering the voice that is about to speak. It is recognizing the frequency of truth. Heaven has chosen this exact moment in your life, on this day, to unveil a truth that has long been sealed. This truth is not loud, not dramatic like the movies you watch. It is quiet, it is poignant, it is sacred, and it begins with one thing. You if right now. You feel an invisible pull on your soul. Know that you are not alone. It is them. They are right behind you, not in fear, not in darkness, but in the purest light. They have begged. They have waited for just one moment when you would be still enough to listen. They need a sacred space, even if it lasts only a few minutes, where earth and heaven can harmonize perfectly, long enough to reveal the truth that has been waiting for you since the day they passed. Archangel Michael is profoundly serious. Picture him. His sword of light is lowered. His majestic wings are heavy, not with fatigue, But with the weight of his mission, he has flown across dimensions for you. That chill you might be feeling down your spine right now is not your imagination. It is confirmation. It is proof that you are being touched, watched over, and loved by forces far beyond human comprehension. The unspoken word core of what you need to know is this. Someone in your family, the one who just came to your mind, passed away without ever being able to say what they truly needed to say. It was an unfinished matter, an unuttered word, a buried truth, and it has been silently following you. Like an unseen shadow, though you were unaware, their words were lost the day they died, until tonight. This moment is the only chance, perhaps the last, to restore those lost words, Michael says, in a voice both majestic and pleading. If you are here, this message was divinely handcrafted for you. Please, my dear one, do not lose it. Subscribe now, so that we may never lose connection again. He pauses, his gaze piercing through time, and adds, trust me, this is only the beginning. As you breathe and accept this moment, your heartbeat might change. A strange sensation rises, a feeling that something is about to be revealed. But it's not what you think. This message isn't just about the one who passed. It's about you. It's about your purpose, your deepest wounds, and most importantly, your freedom. What the soul from the other side is trying to tell you has the power to break your heart, but in the most healing way possible. They have been watching you. Oh, yes. They saw the nights you cried alone in an empty room and told no one. They saw the times you whispered their name in the privacy of your own mind, when no one else on earth could hear. They know. They know how guilty you've felt for things you never said, for regrets you hold, for the way life went on and left so much unresolved. But they did not forget. They did not let go. Even now, their love for you is as intact, as fierce as it ever was. You were never truly abandoned. That is an absolute truth. Archangel Michael was assigned to you the very moment they passed, not because you asked, but because heaven knew you would not be okay. Heaven knew that even when you put on a brave face for everyone, even when you started to laugh again, there were broken pieces deep inside you that never truly healed. And that is why this message had to reach you tonight. This timing is crucial to address those unhealed wounds and bring the healing you so richly deserve. Michael's voice is now firm, powerful, as he explains, the reason you couldn't hear them before is because your soul was too tired, too busy to hurt. But heaven waited. I waited. And now, we must not waste another second. You are about to hear what they wanted to say in their final moments. And no, it's not what you expect. It's not a simple apology, nor is it a farewell for closure. It is something much deeper. It is a revelation, a kind of truth that has the power to illuminate your entire future in the best possible way. Michael is right beside you, protecting you through this, because the moment you hear this, your life will change. Not figuratively, but spiritually, emotionally, completely, and radically. Please, don't ignore this. Not now. The message begins. Your loved one's voice resonates, not through your ears, but through your heart. I saw you crying in the kitchen that day. You thought no one noticed. You called my name in your head, and then you quickly wiped your tears and carried on. But I was there. I whispered to your soul that very day, and though you did not hear me, heaven did. You still don't know the whole truth. Not about how they died, not about what they carried, and certainly not about what they've been waiting to tell you all this time. Lifting the vile Michael's voice rings out, solemn and powerful, like a bell tolling across the realms. It is time. It is time for the veil to be lifted. Imagine it, the delicate yet persistent veil that separates your physical world from the spiritual, the barrier between you and higher truths, between you and your departed loved one. Right now, it is slowly being drawn back. It is time for the wounds to breathe. He continues. The deep traumas you've carried, the pains you've suppressed, hidden, and buried under a mask of strength now is the time for them to be exposed. Not to hurt you further, but to be released. To breathe means to be freed from their suffocating grip, allowing a new flow of life force and healing energy to circulate. It is time for light to enter where you have been silent for so long. Think of the hidden corners of your soul, the places left in darkness, in sorrow, in neglect. The light of truth, of healing, and of divine awareness will now shine upon them, bringing clarity and release. Because, dear one, what they are about to reveal will break a curse that has silently passed through your bloodline for generations. A negative pattern, a spiritual burden, a chain of suffering inherited from ancestors, through grandparents, parents, and then to you. And only you can break it. You are the one chosen to end this cycle, to become the agent of change and healing for your entire lineage. Right now, your mind might be screaming, "This is too much, too soon, too emotional." That is a completely natural reaction, but that is precisely how a sacred moment works. It doesn't wait for your permission. It interrupts your life at the exact moment you are most ready, even when your conscious mind feels anything but. This is what Michael calls a divine test. He explains gently, heaven does not test you to see you suffer. Heaven tests you to show you your strength. The hardships you've endured were not punishments. They were disguised opportunities for you to reveal the extraordinary potential and power hidden within. You were chosen for this not because you are perfect, but because your heart is pure. And your departed loved one, they pleaded with God. They begged the celestial realms to send this message to you because they knew you were the only one in the family with enough courage to hear what needed to be said, and finally, to set everyone free. They tried. They tried so many times before. They tried to enter your dreams, but the noise of the world, your anxieties, created a wall of static the message couldn't penetrate. They sent subtle signs, a feather suddenly falling before you, a specific song playing the moment you were thinking of them, the clock constantly showing repeating numbers like 11:11 or 20:22, or a familiar scent suddenly wafting through the air you couldn't explain. You felt them, but you dismissed them, thinking, it must be my imagination. But Archangel Michael confirms, it was them. Every single time. Nothing was a coincidence. And tonight, they have finally been granted permission, the authority to speak through the veil, through your fear, through the long-held silence. The voice of their soul now rings out, no longer tinged with any earthly anger or pain. The voice is now sacred, clear, and radiant with the golden breath of heaven. They are speaking. Please listen to me. Don't turn away this time. I am here because your name has been echoing relentlessly in my realm, and I can be silent no longer. This earnest plea reveals an intense urgency, a love that cannot be contained. Michael affirms, I have never seen a soul so determined to return to their loved one. He reveals an astonishing truth. I even had to fight through spiritual resistance, through shadows that tried to delay this moment. There are forces that did not want you to hear this, because they know that if you truly listen, if you truly receive what they need to say, the timeline of your life will shift. Your karmic burden will be lifted. The persistent ache in your heart will finally begin to loosen its grip. And something you have been waiting for a very long time, a secret wish, will begin to manifest in your reality. There is something you were supposed to receive years ago, but you didn't, not because it was denied, but because a spiritual cord between you and the past was never healed. This beloved family's soul carried a burden into the afterlife, a secret, a regret, and a deep desire to make it right. But they were stuck until now. Until you finally opened this message. Their release depends on your action right now. Michael looks at you with infinite tenderness and says, you don't even know how important you are, but all of heaven does. The confession from the other Siddhith space around you grows unusually still, as if the entire universe is holding its breath. Archangel Michael is holding this space open, a protective bubble of divine light, because they, your loved one, are not finished. Their voice, now purified of all worldly pain, continues to echo in your soul, once again emphasizing their state of peace and elevation. Please listen to me, they repeat. The urgency in their words a testament to boundless love. Don't turn away this time. I am here because your name echoes in my realm, and I can be silent no longer. Michael reconfirms, so you have no doubt. I have never seen a soul so determined. I fought through spiritual resistance for this moment to happen. Why? Because if you truly hear this, your timeline will change, your karma will be lifted, and what you have longed for will begin to manifest. That damaged spiritual cord, the one that blocked blessings from reaching you, is what they have come to mend. This dear family's soul carried a burden into the next world, a secret, a regret, and they were trapped until you opened this message. Their release and your blessing are intrinsically linked. And this is what they are trying to tell you, slowly, carefully, with all the love they have saved since the day they passed. They say, I didn't mean to leave like that. I was so scared. This is a raw confession, a glimpse into the chaos and fear of their final moments. I knew there were things I hadn't finished, words I hadn't said, and especially love I never fully gave to you. The regret for lost opportunities, for time that passed too quickly, rings in their confession. I thought I would have more time, but time moved faster than I expected. And when I crossed over, when my soul left my body, the first thing I felt was not the light, but the pain in your heart. Let that sink in. Even on the other side, they felt you. The moment of silence when your soul shattered, but you never spoke of it to anyone. I saw it, I felt it, and I never left. They are showing Michael images, flashes of memory of your hardest days. The days you could barely stand on your own, but still had to smile for everyone. The days you felt utterly alone, believing no one on earth could understand what you were going through. But they saw it all, and every single time. They whispered into the unseen space around you, I am still here. You didn't lose them. You just couldn't feel them until now. Right now. You are being enveloped in a warm stream of light. It's a divine hug, a caress that has no human form, but that your soul completely understands. That is why the air feels different now. That is why your chest feels like it's holding back a wave of emotion. Though no one else can see it, a deep part of you recognizes that this moment is real. It is sacred, and it was made just for you. Michael is still holding this space. Because the most important part is coming, they want to confess something they never told anyone, something too heavy to carry on earth, but that has been waiting in heaven to be spoken. Their voice trembles. I hurt people. I made so many mistakes. I pushed people away when I should have held them closer. And I know I wasn't always the version of myself that you needed. But you were the only one I loved completely and unconditionally, even if I never showed it right. Michael pauses this divine flow for a second, then gently tells you, this next truth will hurt, but only for a moment. Then it will set you free. The stolen blessings air grows thick with anticipation. Your loved one's voice now carries a new tone, an urgency to reveal the final truth, the one that will change everything. There's something you don't know. They begin. Their words piercing straight to the core of your being. When I passed, there was so much left unresolved. Paperwork, family dynamics, unspoken words, buried secrets. But one of them was about you. Something meant for you was hidden away, perhaps by mistake, or perhaps out of someone else's fear. They pause, as if to give you time to absorb the initial shock. But now, heaven says it is time for the truth. And here is that truth. A revelation with the power to shake the foundations of your life. There is a blessing. Yes, a literal spiritual inheritance was destined for you. This is not an abstract concept. It is something specific, a tangible blessing. It could be something physical, like a piece of land, an asset, or even a sum of money you knew nothing about. Or it could be something more sacred, like a family heirloom carrying healing energy, a spiritual anointing, a special ability, or a role, a life mission you were destined to fulfill. But it was blocked, covered up, lost, until now. Michael speaks, his voice full of power. You are about to remember who you truly are. And when you do, the entire spiritual ecosystem around you will begin to shift. This is what the enemy never wanted you to know. The enemy here is not a specific person, but the forces of negativity, stagnation, and fear. This inheritance was passed from the soul of the departed to you like a torch, a light, a sacred mission. But the enemy distracted you. They used your own pain, the chaos of your life, your overthinking, your nameless anxieties to make you forget forget your power, forget the inheritance that awaits. But they could not stop you from opening this message. And now, the process of restoration is happening right now. Heaven is pouring clarity into your mind, pouring strength into your heart, and your soul, finally, is beginning to open like a flower that has waited too long in the shade to reach for the light. Michael looks into your future and sees timelines being unlocked. He speaks with absolute certainty. In 9 days from today, something will tangibly shift around you. Pay attention to what happens. A letter, a message, a call, a voice from an unexpected person. Something surprising will arrive. Do not ignore it. He warns. That will be the sign. That is the moment. What was hidden begins to return to you. But there is a condition, a single condition to fully unlock this blessing. Your loved one's voice rings out again, this time with a vulnerability, a plea. You must forgive me. They are not asking you to forgive their mistakes for their own sake. I know it isn't easy. But forgiveness is the only key that can open the door to your next blessing. Not for me, but for you. This act of forgiveness will release you from the burden of resentment, of pain, of the question why. It will free up the trapped energy inside you. And yes, it is okay to cry now. The tension, the lump in your chest has been there for years. You just learned to live with it. But now, it is safe. It is safe to release it. Michael says, let it go, my child. Let it all go. Because heaven is writing a new chapter for your life. And this time, it begins with peace. The survivors reward you don't realize it. But you have already passed through the hardest part of your journey. The part no one applauded you for. The part where you repeatedly broke in silence and still had to get up every morning. The part where everyone around you misunderstood your silence, misunderstood your heart, misunderstood your pain. Heaven saw it. Archangel Michael witnessed every moment. And your loved one is now saying, I saw it all, too. Every prayer you whispered into your pillow, every question you asked the ceiling when you couldn't sleep, every moment you asked God, why did they have to go? I heard it all, and I am still answering you right now. Something strange is happening. Inside you at this moment, you might feel a spreading warmth, a slight dizziness, or goosebumps on your skin. That is because the veil is thinning around you. Your soul is beginning to listen with deeper ears, sacred ears, the kind of ears that can hear what is hidden between the words, the kind of ears that can feel truth instead of just analyzing it. And the truth is this: they never left you, not for a single moment. And now, they want to give you something before this sacred door temporarily closes. Time seems to stand still. Michael is using all his strength to hold this portal of communication open. But he signals that it can only last for a few more moments. This is the final chance for you to listen, to receive fully. The soul of the departed is reaching through the veil one more time. Now, they are not just a voice, but a presence radiant with golden light. Their voice trembles, not with fear, but with an intense emotion you haven't heard from them in a very, very long time. Fearless love. They are speaking, and every word is a drop of healing balm on your old wounds. I know I failed you. I know there were times I made you doubt your own worth. I know I did not protect you the way I should have. This is a heartbreaking confession, an admission of failures that left scars on your soul. But then, the liberating truth is revealed. But I need you to know, it wasn't because I didn't love you. It was because I didn't know how to love myself. I was wounded, and unconsciously, I passed a part of that pain onto you. This is the very root of the bloodline curse. Pain passed from one generation to the next, not out of malice, but out of ignorance and unhealed wounds. But I begged God every day. They continue, their voice full of earnestness. I begged him to allow me to send healing from the other side to you. And today, that prayer was answered. That lump in your throat right now, that is your soul beginning to open. Because these words are not just for the you of today, they are for a younger version of you. A sadder version, a sacred version that was wounded and never got the closure, the explanation it needed. And now, the healing is beginning. Michael speaks to you gently but firmly. Dear one, you must not run from this pain. This is sacred pain. It is the kind of pain that cleanses, the kind of pain that awakens, the kind of pain that liberates. You can feel it. You can cry. You are not alone. They are saying one more thing, a stunning revelation. There's something you don't know. Right before I died, I had a dream. You were in it. You were older, wiser, and you were radiant with something I never achieved in this life. And in that dream, I knew you would be the one to break the cycle that broke me. That dream was a prophecy, and that is why they have been trying so desperately to contact you. Your life has a meaning that goes far beyond what you have ever been told, far beyond the limits that society or family has placed on you. You were called, not by chance, not by luck. You were chosen to complete what they could not. And this is what is being released from you right now. In this sacred moment, the release of guilt for things you could not change. The release of shame for things you once believed were your fault. The release of fear for a future that once felt so uncertain. Because it is no longer uncertain. Your future is unfolding quietly, powerfully, and divinely. The path is being cleared. The final prophecy and blessing portal is about to close. But the light from it is still brilliant. Michael knows that for this transformation to be permanently sealed in your soul, he needs to give you the tools to navigate the future. I have one final prophecy for you in this moment, he says, his voice solemn. It is brief, but it will stay with you forever. He leans closer, as if whispering a secret of the universe meant only for you. In 7 days, you will hear something that completely changes your path. It may come from a friend, a stranger, a dream, or even a delay, a seemingly negative change of plans, lists. But when it comes to you, your soul will know, without a doubt. Your soul will recognize. This is the sign. This is the answer to what you have been secretly asking God to reveal. The angels have been preparing it behind the scenes, and now it is almost time for it to be delivered to you. But wait, there is one last thing. The soul of the departed, before retreating into the realm of light, wants to give you a blessing that has been held back all this time, waiting until your heart was ready enough to receive it. They speak, their voice now not words, but a stream of pure, loving energy pouring into you. I bless you with peace, not the temporary kind that depends on external circumstances, but the deep kind that remains even in the midst of a storm. I bless your home, that it may be a sanctuary of love and light. I bless your name, that it may be spoken with respect and love. I bless your future family, for the children who will come later. I bless the money you earn, that it may always be abundant and serve a higher purpose. I bless the love you receive and the joy you are about to feel. And then, with absolute certainty, they declare, no curse will continue through you. You will be the one to end what broke us, and you will be the one to begin what will heal all who come after you. Michael now opens his palm. In his palm, a key made of pure, brilliant light is glowing. This is yours now, he says. You have earned it through your resilience. And when you close this message, something invisible will be unlocked in your life. It is already happening. You may not see it with your physical eyes, but your soul knows the shift has begun. And the soul who brought this message to you, they are smiling, a smile of release and peace. They are free because they have finally said what they needed to say, and they know that you have heard them. Now they can truly rest in peace. But you are different. You are not going into rest. You are about to rise in power. This is your moment now. It is your turn, Michael affirms. Heaven says, go forward and do not look back. The awakening Mitchell's wings are slowly folding. The air around you is gradually settling back to normal. But your soul is not. Your soul is radiant because you have just walked through something sacred. You did not just watch a message. You stepped through a spiritual doorway. And now, on the books of heaven, next to your name, one word has been written: awakened. The one who passed, they are no longer crying, no longer in pain. They are looking at you as if you are the brightest light in the universe, because to them, you are the one who survived. You are the one who answered the call. You are the one who chose love over anger, healing over bitterness. You broke the silence. You heard the voice that others ignored. And now, you have become a bridge, a living spiritual connection between what was and what will be. Michael says, one last time, his voice gently etching itself into your heart. Dear one, never forget this moment. This was the hour that heaven kissed your pain and called you holy. The light from this encounter will continue to swirl around your next 7 days. You will start to notice it in small ways: an unexpected kindness from a stranger, a sudden breeze in a still room, a dream more vivid than a memory, a number that keeps repeating, or a phone call that changes everything. Pay attention. Heaven is not done with you, because now that the first message has been sent, others will follow. Now that you have been opened, aligned, and anointed, new doors will begin to appear, some invisible, some unexpected, but all created just for you. The departed soul is now placing an invisible hand on your shoulder. No, you can't feel it with your skin, but your soul feels it. That's why your eyes are watering. That's why your breath feels different. That's why your heart has softened a little more than you expected. Because what they gave you was more than words. They gave you permission to heal. They gave you their final gift, peace, and they are saying, don't go back. Don't get stuck. You are not meant to live in suffering anymore. You are meant to create light. You are meant to love again. You are meant to step into places no one in our family ever reached. A radiant smile breaks across Michael's majestic face. He places his hand over his heart, a gesture of approval and deep pride. You have unlocked a generational blessing, he declares, and these words carry the weight of an eternal truth. Your act of listening and forgiving has not just affected you personally, it has triggered a flow of blessings for your entire lineage. It started with them that departed, but it ends with you, and after today, it will multiply. You are the nexus of transformation, the point where the cycle of pain ends and a new cycle of blessing begins, spreading and gaining strength through you. There are people you haven't even met who will thank you one day, Michael prophesies. Unborn children, strangers who will feel healed just by your presence. They won't know why, but you will. You will know it's because you now carry heaven within you. You carry the voice of one who never stopped loving you, and you carry the light of a promise that cannot be broken. Before you leave this sacred space, heaven has one final whisper for you, a promise sealed with unconditional love. What was taken from you is on its way back. What you thought was over is being resurrected, and what you have been waiting for is on its way. You don't have to beg anymore, the whisper continues. You don't have to chase desperately anymore. You just need to keep your heart open. Hold onto your faith and maintain tenderness in your heart. The blessings already know your name, and they are on their way home. Michael leans closer one more time. It's just you and him. No more noise, no more fear, only pure truth. If you remember only one thing from today, remember this. Heaven never forgot you. Not once. Not for a second. And it never will. They saw every tear. They heard every prayer. They witnessed every time you almost gave up, but didn't. That's why they brought you here. That's why this message had to come to you now. And if this message has touched even the smallest corner of your soul, he repeats the call, now with a deeper meaning. Please subscribe so you never miss what heaven is preparing next for you, because the next message will be even more personal. This is not a goodbye. This is a new beginning. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Heaven is watching you, and it is smiling, because finally you heard them, and they have never loved you more than in this very moment. The afterglow, even after these words end, the presence of heaven will remain near you. You can return to your day, to the noise, to the daily routines, but something inside you has permanently shifted. You will find yourself thinking a little deeper, feeling a little softer, breathing a little differently. That is not a coincidence. That is because something eternal has touched something temporary, and it has left an indelible mark. You may find feathers in strange places. You will see repeating numbers with intention. You will feel a quiet warmth envelop you when you are alone. These are no longer just little signs. These are clear divine confirmations. Heaven is following up on this message with a whisper. Yes, we really meant it tonight. When you say their name, even just in your mind, they will hear. When you close your eyes and feel an unexplainable peace, that is them again. And when that unexpected moment arrives and it will when a conversation changes your life, or a miracle interrupts your week, remember this moment. You did not imagine this. You did not create it. You did not find it by luck. You were summoned here because heaven chose you to be the one to break what was and create what will be. Michael will walk beside you now, and the soul who came to speak, they will be closer than ever. This bond is now eternal. And if you ever forget what you just felt, come back here. Replay this, not because the words are magic, but because they are truth, and they are for you. One more thing, if your heart is still open, let it stay open. Because the next miracle will not knock, it will simply walk in. And when it does, you will smile gently to yourself and say, I remember. Heaven said this was coming. Dear one, your journey was not cursed. You were never abandoned. You were being positioned. You were not being punished. You were being positioned. The people who hurt you were never truly in control. God saw every moment they tried to dim your light, every manipulative silence, every guilt trip, every moment you had to bend yourself just to be good enough for someone who never truly saw you. But God always saw you. And today, Michael says, God is putting you back on your throne, not just emotionally, but spiritually, financially, and energetically. You are about to rise in every way the enemy tried to bury you. And here is the miracle you did not expect. The one who broke your heart has now become the fuel for your divine comeback. God is using the very pieces of that heartbreak to build something holy, something permanent, something eternal. So if your chest feels tight, if your soul feels heavy, it's because your soul is remembering what it was born to do, not to be abandoned, but to be anointed, not to be broken, but to be chosen, not to be forgotten, but to be divinely favored. And the silence you had to endure, Michael says that silence was sacred. It wasn't emptiness. It was God preparing your new beginning in secret. But now, heaven is about to make it loud. You will start to hear your name in rooms you've never entered. Opportunities will start to appear out of thin air. The things that used to terrify you will start to excite you. That's how you'll know the shift is real. Because the heartbreak was real. But the healing will be even more powerful. Michael asks you to remember this. When the enemy loses access to your heart, they will try to come back through your memory. Don't let them. If they come back pretending they've changed, remember what they did when they thought you had no power. Forgive them, but never forget how far you've come. This time, you are not their victim. You are God's living proof, a walking miracle, a living prophecy. You are no longer in survival mode. You are stepping into a supernatural renaissance. The angels are circling your name tonight. They are writing a new chapter, one without betrayal, without begging, without shame. A chapter where you are loved deeply, loudly, and safely. And this is the final message Michael wants you to carry. The person who hurt you will not recognize you after this, because they hurt the version of you that needed their love to survive. But they will never get to touch the version of you that learned how to love herself. That version of you is being born. Even now, your energy is changing. Heaven is surrounding you, and soon you will start to feel lighter, clearer, more certain. That's what happens when the angels remove what was never meant to stay. So when you wake up tomorrow and the air feels different, when you hear that song again, the one that always made you cry, when that text comes through or that name pops into your mind or that door finally closes, let it all happen, because this time you are not watching heartbreak destroy you. You are watching it rewrite you into someone stronger, softer, and more spiritually aligned with the life you were always destined to live. Michael is smiling now, his wings radiant with joy, because you listened. You didn't stroll past this. You stayed long enough to hear what most people miss, that your pain had a purpose, and your heartbreak was always leading you here, to this message, to this moment, to this miracle. Breathe, dear one, because your soul just survived the storm, and your blessing is already on its way. The battle is over. What happens next is what you were born to do. Michael lowers his sword of light, not in defeat, but in deep reverence. The battle is over. The war for your soul was fierce. He says, his voice echoing with truth. The enemy tried everything: confusion, loneliness, feelings of rejection, abandonment, even self-blame. But they lost. They lost because you kept standing. You did not give up. Even when your mind screamed you couldn't go on, you did not give up on your light. You kept going, kept praying, kept believing, even when your voice trembled, even when your faith fractured, even when you felt that maybe God had forgotten you. But heaven never forgets its children, especially the ones who cry in secret. And now, the reward for your endurance is coming, not just in the form of a blessing, but in the form of a revelation. You are no longer tied to the old story that love means pain. You are no longer bound to the version of you that once begged for clarity from people who only gave you silence. You are no longer cursed to repeat the mistakes you nearly died from. Right now, in this moment, you are being reborn into someone who is free. Free from guilt, free from emotional debts, free from having to perform, to prove yourself, just to feel wanted. Michael wants you to remember something powerful. Every time you thought it was over, it was actually just the beginning. And this heartbreak, this moment of sacred shattering, that was your spiritual graduation. He looks at you, his eyes holding a universe of love. Look at you, still standing, still radiant, still worthy after it all. The old you would have stayed silent. The old you would have made excuses for the red flags. The old you would have accepted apologies that came with no change in behavior. But the old you is gone. The heartbreak buried them. And from that very heartbreak, God raised up someone divine. Now, you are not just surviving love. You are about to receive it. Real love. The kind that doesn't confuse you. The kind that doesn't disappear when you need it most. The kind that makes you feel seen even when you are silent. And Michael says, this love begins with you. You are your own first miracle. You are your own answered prayer. You are the one who walked out of that room in tears and still, somehow, lit a candle for someone else. So breathe, because soon you will look back on this stormy season and say, I didn't just survive that season. I became holy in the middle of it. And as this message divinely concludes, Let these words be etched into your heart. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too hard to love. You are simply too sacred for what tried to keep you in the dark. Right now, your angels are rejoicing. Michael is lifting your name before the throne of God, and heaven is opening a new book just for your life. The page is being turned now. The new chapter is beginning now. Your story is being healed now. If your heart is beating faster, if your breath is trembling, if your eyes are filling with tears, know this. It is not just emotion. It is an activation. You are being remembered by heaven, and the one who hurt you, they will remember what they lost. But you will remember who you are. And who you are is a miracle of God. Yes, dear one, let's breathe together one more time. Because although the words are ending, the divine movement in your life has only just truly begun. Michael lingers now. He is not rushing, not retreating, but staying with you, his hand invisibly placed on your heart. Because what just happened in your soul is bigger than you realize. You did not just receive a message, you answered a call. Heaven doesn't speak to everyone this way, but for you, the angels made an exception. The precise timing, the sacred tone, the urgent delivery, it was all perfectly orchestrated. Because your heart, your sacred, beautifully scarred heart is a rare thing. And God never overlooks the rare dots. So if you feel a shift, if your hands are trembling, if your chest feels open, if your eyes are wet, it means you were just visited. This was not imagination. This was a divine intervention. We will continue with one final breath in this sacred realm. The message has concluded. But there is something within that still needs to be held. These last words are like a lullaby for the soul, a divine aftertaste that lingers in the heart long after the voice has faded. Do not rush. Let the silence speak. If you are still here, it means your soul is listening, not your mind, not your logic, but the deeper part of you that always knew there was more to this world than meets the eye. And yes, there is more healing, more connection, more joy, but above all, more purpose. Archangel Michael does not visit lightly. He does not speak unless heaven commands. And tonight, he didn't just bring you a message. He brought you confirmation. You are not crazy. You are not cursed. You are not lost. You are chosen. And everything that is falling apart in your life, it is not the end. It is the alignment. God is rearranging everything in your life. Some people will leave. Some plans will have to pause. Some emotions will confuse you. But it is not punishment. It is positioning. Heaven knows what is coming. And so does your soul. You are being put in a position for something greater than you can imagine. But first comes the clearing, the silence, and the surrender. And you have surrendered. You stayed for this entire message. You did not run. You listened with an open heart. You let yourself feel. That is how miracles begin. That is how lives change, not by force, but by sacred remembrance. So remember this. You are the prayer someone once whispered to God. You are the miracle someone in heaven has been waiting to see. You are the continuation of a love that never dies. And when you leave this message, do not forget who you became while reading it. You became whole. Michael will not leave your side now. Your departed loved one will be a beacon for your light. And every time you doubt, they will be closer than breath, reminding you with signs, with whispers, and with a sudden peace that feels like it came from nowhere. It didn't come from nowhere. It came from them. So go forth, dear one, with softness, with strength, with the memory of this moment etched in your heart like a sacred promise. Final call to action. You have reached the end of this journey, but it is truly just a beginning. The vibration you feel, the clarity you taste, the peace that is enveloping you, it's real. Heaven has opened a direct channel of communication with you. And this was only the first message. There is so much more they want to tell you, more specific guidance, deeper blessings, revelations that will continue to reshape your life in the most miraculous ways. Do not let this precious connection be lost in the noise of the world. Do not let this opportunity fade into a beautiful but distant memory. Take action now to seal this bond. Press the subscribe button. This is not a casual call to action. It is an invitation from your very soul, affirmed by Archangel Michael. By subscribing, you are saying yes to heaven. You are saying, I am ready to hear more. You are saying, I will not lose this sacred connection. The next message may arrive when you need it most, and it will find you more easily if you are part of this community of light. Turn this sacred interruption into a permanent arrangement. Press subscribe and let the miracles continue to flow into your life. Heaven is waiting for your response. Don't keep them waiting. Thank you for listening to the sharing of divine wisdom, spiritual protection, and angelic guidance inspired by the Archangel Michael Says Daily channel. If you find it interesting, please subscribe and look forward to the next videos. Goodbye and see you again.